trying to mix things up by filming in a different corner of the room. So today I have just like a standard movie review. If this is your first time coming to this channel, please note I am not a professional or experienced movie reviewer. In fact, I'm somewhat of a movie virgin, trying to expose myself to as much exploitation cinema as possible. So today, we are talking about Twins of Evil from 1971. This video is gonna have mild spoilers at the end, but I will warn you. But I'm trying to make this suitable for people who have and people who haven't seen the movie this time. Twins of Evil. How about that title, right? This is a British horror film directed by John Huff. Who? And it's a Hammer film, which apparently means something, but I don't quite get it yet. I'm new to all of this. Twins of Evil is starring Peter Cushing and Mary and Madeline Collinson. This is a part of the Karnstein trilogy, which I have not seen any other part of. These twins are just heavenly. They're angels. I saw someone on Instagram post a picture of these twins and they both have vampire teeth in it, and I was like, who are these queens? So I pretty soon found out about Twins of Evil, and I was like, that it kind of was on my radar. And then Brian mentioned it here on YouTube, and I was like, okay, this needs to happen. Twins of Evil, go. So what is this movie about? Here's my synopsis that I made. Set in 17th century Austria, two twins relocate to a small village after their parents pass away. They move in with their uncle, who is a religious zealot that goes around murdering people he thinks are sinners or witches. One of these twins is a good girl, and one of them is a bad girl. The bad girl is interested in Count Karnstein, who lives in the castle on the hill. Meanwhile, the Count is dabbling in some not-so-righteous activities. Now let's talk about what I liked about this movie, because, yes, overall, I loved it. Twins of Evil was awesome. First off, I was quite impressed by the quality of this film. Now maybe that's because the movie I watched prior to this was Virgin Witch, which just, it was a lot more grainy, muffled, low budget. Meanwhile, Twins of Evil is just a full-on production. The picture was crisp, the sound was clear, the acting was theatrical but great, the sets were lavish, the costumes were elaborate. The music was this, the cinematic accompaniment, but it added to that grandiosity of the film. It was just very, very well made. Visually, in this film, we get a lot of elements that I am a sucker for. Forest at night, cemeteries, fog, castles, thunder, angry mobs, satanic rituals. Thematically, we get class, religion, of course. We have themes of Satan, vampires, witches, and witch hunts. The script and the dialogue also, they're very easy to follow. Which a dope like me appreciates. And I would describe this entire movie as being very quotable. There are several lines that people said that I was like, oh, I want to write that down. That's so nice. And I did write one down. I wrote, I can savor the most extreme of Satan's delights. Yeah, so another thing I love in this script is the very frank, matter-of-fact speaking about the devil. I don't know, I just think it's funny. And in addition to there being so many quotable lines, we also have so many screenshotable frames in this movie. It's very just a visual delight. Almost everything is screenshotable, as I would say. Just so many pretty shots. Let's talk about these twins. I'm very interested in these twins, but it looks like their careers were just pretty straightforward and brief. They were in a handful of films, but Twins of Evil is one that kind of stood out in their little filmographies I was looking at. They did do some magazines. They're famous for doing Playboy, but they did some other magazines too. I'd be very interested to see those spreads. I could probably find them if I Googled a bit harder. But I was impressed. I wasn't expecting them to be very good actors, but they actually impressed me. I thought they were pretty good. And they're just so cute. Their cute little faces. They kind of reminded me of Haley Mills. Okay, so I have a few criticisms of the film. This is gonna have like vague spoilers, but nothing serious. First of all, I was disappointed that Maria and Frida, the twins' characters, I was disappointed that they weren't closer. You know, there wasn't like a bond between the two. They didn't really seem to like each other, and that was disappointing. They're both just kind of like living their own lives. I felt like there was no chemistry between the characters. Obviously they're sisters, there's chemistry between them, but the characters as they were written, there was no chemistry between the two. And like I said, while they were quite decent actors, I feel like the characters were written to be very just shallow. There's no depth to them, and you can kind of tell that the script was written in a way that it focused on their beauty rather than creating compelling characters. It was just kind of like, well, the twins are really hot and one's a good girl and one's a bad girl. The end. So it would have been nice to kind of like get a little deeper with them. And I was also disappointed that they both weren't evil. I thought they were both going to be evil together, and I thought that would be really fun. It was a little less fun for one of them to be evil and one of them to be good. Yeah, I thought they were both going to become vampires, and we kind of get to watch that process of liberation with both of them together, but it just didn't go like that. They didn't have much to do with each other at all. In fact, the fact that they were twins had very little to do with the story at all either. It only came into play like one time. It involved them switching places temporarily. And that was pretty much the only purpose their twinness had in the whole movie. I also feel like Count Karnstein was underutilized. Like, they really built him up at the beginning, and then there was just this blank space right in the middle of the movie where he was just gone. He wasn't part of the plot anymore. And that kind of sucked because I really liked his character, and I would have liked him to be more of like a driving force in all of this. Now a few final thoughts with some mild spoilers still. I was mostly pleased with the ending. And we got some really surprising violence that I wasn't expecting, so that was fun. This movie was not nearly as sleazy as I was expecting. It was just like slightly sexy. But I mean, that made it, though, a more wholesome type of movie to watch. This film was stunning, and like I said, it was way better than I expected. I would call this a great film for Halloween, just to put on, just to set the mood, to watch on and off if you wanted. It just has this awesome Halloween atmosphere, very spooky. It was also pretty interesting story-wise, not just atmospherically and aesthetically, but it had a good story, and that says a lot because I don't really like period pieces that much. Overall, Twins of Evil does not disappoint. If you're a fan of 70s witches or vampires or, you know, gothic horror vibes, and if you're one who likes a very visual and stylish experience, Twins of Evil is for you. It's definitely a keeper. I had a great time with this one, and I'll probably be revisiting it. Okay, I did a review. How'd it go? Was that a review? Do you have another movie you want me to review? Just let me know. I'm just gonna like randomly pick stuff. I just thought I'll review Twins of Evil because I'll take notes while I watch this one. So that's what I did. Hey, I can't get any better if I don't start doing them, right? Okay, that's all. Ciao for now.